So chapter 4 is called Fuck Cancer, or it might be called hashtag Fuck Cancer. I'm not sure. And it's all about her father's diagnosis and death. And it's about a half an hour long, but halfway through, I was like, wow, this is just an actual, telling the story of his, declining health and deterioration. And it isn't told through the lens of Meghan, or, I thought for sure it was going to be this death happened to me, but it wasn't. It was, it really just sort of went through the steps of his decline until it stopped doing that. There was a point somewhere in the middle of this chapter where she's talking, her father's dying, and she can't handle the fact that she doesn't know when he's going to die. She literally says, needed more data. So she goes to his palliative nurse and screams at her. So, more screaming at nurses. Good job, Meghan. Screams at the palliative nurse. I don't want any more of this BS. You're just bullshitting me about, time. And I want to know, when is he going to die? Is it 24 hours? Is it 48 hours? When is it going to happen? Like she knows. Oh, it'll be at 3:52, 2 days from now. What the hell? So she yells at the nurse. And eventually the nurse says, yes, it will be sometime in the next couple of days. And Meghan's response is, I don't think you broke the Hippocratic Oath by telling me that. God help any of the healthcare workers that have to take care of her in any hospital setting, whether she's a patient or just a raving lunatic needing more data. So, she blames Western medicine for not having a better handle on death information for families. She also blames just Western culture in general for her not being prepared for her father's death. She's angry and she feels cheated that she wasn't given better tools, I guess, to understand death. Again, of course, poor Meghan, I wasn't equipped to handle it. Well, you know what? The death of loved ones happens to literally everyone. And there is no guidebook for it. I'm sure actually there probably are books that are written on this that, if you wanted to be prepared, you could have read them in the, 14 months while your father was dying. I didn't do that, but the coping skills, you have to figure things out. And I don't think Meghan has any of those. At least not like a normal person. So she blames Western medicine for not being prepared for his death, and that, she should have had more training, I guess. I don't know. But then, when he does finally die, they had wheeled him outside. It seems weird, but they did, so that these last breaths could be, in the desert air. And she says, the family's all there, and people are either praying or, quietly weeping to themselves. And she can't take it. She just loses it. She starts screaming. She's pounding Ben's chest with her fists, screaming, no, 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 no. Now, I mean, the nurse had told her it was going to be in the next couple of days. It was in the window. She should have been prepared. So she's screaming and crying and makes herself sick. Like, she literally starts to vomit, and he shuffles her off to the side so she says, get on all fours and hurl over the side of the deck. Whatever. So I'm guessing Meghan's not someone you want around in a crisis. And what a loving, what a lovely memory for her family after, you know, their father and husband, you know, peacefully pass away, to then be met with, histrionics of the daughter, of the one daughter. She does also talk about, other members of her family in this chapter about, her blended family of she skips over the point where she says when her dad came home from the war, he and his first wife got divorced. Then he met her mom and they got married within a month of meeting each other. She glosses over the fact that he had an affair with her while he was still married to the first one. But anyway, and then she goes on to talk about, after his death, they flew around the country with him in a casket for a week, which seems like torture. And then talking about all the people in his life that, sort of spoke, and they were speaking for him, about him, and how that upset her that, too many people decided they knew too many things about John McCain and thought that they would go on TV or give interviews to talk about his life and legacy and blah, blah, blah. And she didn't like that. She also didn't like that Sarah Palin and her family were excluded from the funeral. I don't know why you want that clown to come to what is already a circus of a funeral. So we go through all of that. Meghan's not prepared to understand death, and she goes on like just paragraphs and paragraphs about what kind of a person her father was. After complaining about everybody doing it, now she does it, which I'm sure, again, if you're the rest of her family, you might also have other opinions and ideas about what the man was about. And then she tells one of his favorite dirty jokes, which turns out to be kind of homophobic. So I don't know. It sounds like he was a lot of fun. I'll say that. And definitely a better hang than his daughter.